Hi, my name is Lindsay Hutchinson and I am an interior designer at the Dementia Services Development Centre. Part of my role is to advise on dementia design principles which can be incorporated into homes and all types of public buildings to help people living with dementia live as comfortably and independent as possible. Most people want to remain in their own home for as long as possible, and this is understandable. It's generally a familiar and safe space. When caring for a loved one with dementia, there are many aspects of the home environment that we can consider to enable this. Home adaptations can be costly, but there are things that can be done that can make a really positive difference. We call these low-cost, high-impact design interventions. Familiarity is important to retain, so any changes made should be kept to a minimum to support recognition and to help maintain independence for as long as possible. Making too many big changes all at once could cause stress and distress, so it can make sense to make small changes more gradually. Tonal contrast is also very important. The ageing eye can see colour in a different way and requires double the amount of light. To see one thing against another in a room, then the tone of those two objects need to contrast to make them more obvious. For example, a dark armchair sitting on a light coloured carpet will make it easier to see the chair against the floor and help the person avoid bumping into the chair. It will also make it easier to sit down and position oneself safely. Key areas to focus on are the entrance to the property, kitchens and bathrooms. Let's talk about the entrance first. The entrance should be recognisable and stand out from the other houses or apartments on a street or along a corridor. Changing the door colour to one that the person living with dementia remembers from their younger days can help them to differentiate their front door from the others. Adding an object to support wayfinding can also help. This could be a specimen plant, such as their favourite rose in a coloured pot, which will stand out or contrast against the background. Within kitchens, there are a lot of simple things that can be adapted to make finding items easier. It may be too expensive to change kitchen units from solid cupboard doors to glass doors that can be seen through. However, the doors could be removed altogether to make it easier to find objects. Clutter should be kept to a minimum so that there's less to focus on. This can be done by keeping the worktops as clear as possible. Inexpensive items such as clear acrylic tea, coffee and sugar canisters make it easier to see the contents and help the person living with dementia to keep doing activities of daily living for as long as possible. The bathroom is probably the most important room in the home. It can be the smallest but the hardest room to get right. However, there are a few small changes that can be made to make a big impact. Seeing the toilet seat against the floor and the toilet pan is vital to help avoid incontinence and maintain dignity. The tone of the toilet seat should contrast strongly against the floor and white pan. Avoid a white toilet seat on a white toilet pan, as this will make it harder for safe positioning. The soap should also contrast with the wash hand basin to encourage good hygiene. Choosing a coloured soap will help it to be seen against the white wash hand basin. Otherwise, a white soap can be placed on a coloured soap dish, which will then be seen against the basin. Coloured towels can also be a cost-effective way to make them more easy to see. And finally, mirrors can be an issue for some people living with dementia, as they struggle to recognise themselves. It can be a good idea to have a way to cover the mirror if it does cause any issues. A roller blind which is close in colour and tone to the wall can help to disguise the mirror. Making any of these changes can go a long way to help people to remain as independent as possible and maintain quality of life.